Hi there, I'm Phil Baarda from Scottish Natural Heritage, speaking to you through the realms of virtualness. And I'm going to do a brief talk through about the mapping work we've been doing with the EcoCoLIFE project and how it relates to habitats and ecosystem services. And what's the most exciting is that it's actually delivering positive land management on the ground for the benefit of people and for wildlife. So, what have we been doing?
And so the EcoCoLIFE project aims to manage land in the best places to benefit people and wildlife. And by best, we mean management that will firstly improve ecological coherence, secondly provide ecosystem service and socio-economic benefits, and three, be achievable, cost-effective, best value, and so on. So it's very similar aims to things like the National Ecological Network and other policy land management objectives. So how are we going to go about doing this? So there are three things here. There's the habitat management and how to improve connectivity, ecosystem services and how to identify them and where we can enhance or improve the benefits, and land management where it provides these multiple benefits for connectivity and for ecosystem services, as well as being cost-effective, lasting and deliverable. So what we've been doing with EcoCoLIFE is to target management at the best places, which is, of course, where all three of these objectives overlap. So how have we been doing this? So firstly, looking at ecosystem services, we've used a system called EcoCoLIFE to map 9 ecosystem services.
So the beauty of EcoCoLIFE is that it's a free-to-use mapping system. It uses easily available land cover data, in this case Ordnance Survey Master Map, which of course is very up to date and very good quality as well. And EcoServe allows you as well to add your own data too. But it maps ecosystem services in quite an elegant way. So what EcoServe does is to identify the capacity of land to provide a service and also the demand on that land for that particular service too.
So here's an example of EcoCoLIFE looking at trees and woodland and their air purification ecosystem service in Cumbernauld. The green areas are where trees are producing the greatest capacity for air purification. Through to orange, where there are fewer trees, and to no colour for little or no capacity. That's where there are very few trees or no trees. The demand for air purification, however, is where most people are. In this case, it's needed where it's brown, through to orange where there are fewer people, and then through to grey and white for where there are even fewer people who will benefit from the service. By combining both the demand and capacity analyses, we can see that the green shows where the trees are providing a good service, that is, the capacity is greater than the demand, through to orange and yellow where the demand is greater than the capacity, i.e. there's some trees but not enough, and the red shows where there are few or no trees but the demand for air purification from trees is very high. So this would seem to indicate that town planners should need to maintain trees in the green areas, start to enhance or create green infrastructure in the red and orange areas if, of course, they value this particular service. So we've used EcoServe across Scotland's central belt, which has helped identify the capacity and demand for several services. So what about habitat connectivity? This is the second balloon. So we've been mapping this through an established process that's been around for a few years and is used by many people and many organisations. It's often called habitat network mapping or integrated networks, or sometimes goes by the acronym BEETLE, all of which show a way to map how species move through a landscape. The example here illustrates that. The dark green shows woodland habitat, and radiating out from these patches is a lighter green, and that indicates the relative permeability for woodland species to move across that particular non-woodland habitat. For example, here, where the arrow is pointing, the land around these woodland patches is very restrictive to woodland species dispersal. It might be, for instance, an intensive agricultural field. Here, though, species movement is much less restrictive. It might be a piece of heathy scrub, for example. And so for EcoCoLIFE, we've mapped networks of several habitats across the central belt, such as heathlands, mires, wetlands, peatlands, and so on. And by combining the various maps, we can get an indication of the places on the ground where we can manage land to improve whichever ecosystem service or services we're interested in, and at the same time improving connectivity for a particular habitat. So here's an example at a local scale. What we've identified here are a range of places where positive management will do just that. That is, areas of land where management will improve connectivity and produce the most ecosystem service benefits. However, though, we've also managed to weight them as well. So the red area, of which there's just one on this example, is a great place for management. Orange is even better, as it will provide slightly more ecosystem service benefits. And the green areas are even better than that. So we've got best, better, and the bestest, I guess. So in this local area, we've identified all these excellent places for management for the benefit of people and nature. But where does this idea of the very best places for management come in? What happens now is a sifting and deliberation stage where, ideally with a range of people sat around a table, we look at the merits of each parcel of land and ask ourselves a range of questions, such as which are the most cost-effective to manage and where management is most achievable. Where, for example, do we have existing management groups or partnerships already in place to set up the work? Who's going to continue managing the land in the longer term? Which parts of land have the most secure tenure? For example, that might be in public ownership or managed by an NGO or charity, or where the landowner has an interest in what we're trying to achieve, or are there grants or agricultural payments that are favourable for this particular land in this particular location? A host of things, many, many more, on top of those I've just mentioned, which, when all the deliberations happened, maybe over several rounds of talks and meetings, we can then sift the 30 or so areas we've identified, all of which, you remember, are excellent places to manage for a range of benefits, into a top 5. The top 5 being the very best places for us to start drawing up agreements and management plans, and then to actually start management on the ground. So here's a few examples. Here's some peatland management at Westermoss, where we're digging a bund to retain water on the site. Here we're creating a bee bank at Forge Down in Falkirk to improve open mosaic habitat on the brownfield site. And don't forget too, all of this is to benefit wildlife and people. So to find out more, get more information, or perhaps even to get involved, have a look at the EcoCoLIFE website and follow us on Twitter too. Thanks now.